Is it okay to record the entire interview?
Yeah.
My name is Savannah Torres, and thank you for taking your time to meet with me. The career I am doing research on is law. I want to be a lawyer. Is it okay if I can ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Okay. My first question is, how is your subject matter related to my career interest of being a lawyer?
It's very related. Um, the major the history major, which you can take in college, is a major that's very typical amongst lawyers.
Attention, Manuel Banyan, and the Thursday broadcast team, please report to your broadcast.
Because historical work involves research and evidence, that's incredibly important to any lawyer. You've got to be able to do research. You've got to be able to put together your evidence. You've got to be able to be convincing in your arguments, which are all, I mean, that's history. That's what you do in history. So it's very typical for somebody in history to become a lawyer.
What makes your class unique in comparison to the other classes in Los Angeles?
That's a strange question. I don't know because I don't know what other classes are really doing. I know that what I think of as a teacher as being really important is to allow students to begin doing history. Up until this point, most of them have gotten history, but it's only been told to them. It's only been taught to them. So I think a really important part of my class is making students get dirty in terms of going in and getting their own understanding, right? Looking and finding that there are different ways to see something. So the story that one person will tell is very different from the story that another person will tell. So you have to decide, who do I believe more? What makes most sense? Is there a little truth to both? And that's history, and that's lawyer work, right?
Yeah.
That's finding where is the truth in all of that evidence that you have.
How did your academic performance in high school affect your career now?
My academic performance in high school was not good. I was not a good student. I was a decent student, but I wasn't a good student, and it was it helped me later on because I realized that I'd wasted a lot of time in high school. So when I went to college, it gave me that much more. It gave me that much more motivation to try harder as a student, and I think I was a better student as a consequence. I think if I'd have been a pretty good student in high school, I think I would have been continued being a pretty good student in college, but probably not very good. And I think I did a lot better in college than I would have otherwise. So I think not doing so well in high school early on helped me later on become motivated.
How and why did you choose this career?
I chose this career.
Well, Mr. Aquaba, Team A, please report to the main office. Team A, please report to the front office.
I chose this career based on my experiences as a tutor in college, and also based on the fact that I like teaching. I do like explaining things to people. I'm pretty good at it. I've been told when I was younger that I had a pretty good way of explaining things. Even when I worked in groups with students, they'd be like, "Man, you should be a teacher, because you can explain things well." And the funny thing, of course, is that being a teacher, you don't. I mean, kids don't pay enough attention for your explanations to mean much, so that doesn't really matter. But I enjoy it. It's been good. I've tried it. I don't think I'll do it forever, but I went down this path, and I've enjoyed doing it. I've learned a lot about myself, about students, about people. So I just really, it was more like trying something versus just deciding that's what I'm going to do forever.
What are the most and least rewarding aspects of your job?
The most rewarding aspect is making people make connections. A lot of times at this age, you guys are barely starting to come into the idea that the world is a little more complicated. When you're younger, the world is very simple. It's your house, it's the people that are around you, it's your friends. And as you get older, you start realizing that that's a very small circle of people, and the world is a much larger place, and it's much different from maybe what you've grown up around. So if I can make people make the connections between their past and the past that we all share in the world, then I feel good. That's the most rewarding thing. The least rewarding thing is the fact that I have to deal constantly with people who don't want to be here. It's just the nature of the school system. We have mandatory school for everybody, so that means that I have a captive audience. I have captive students that have to be here, and that makes it tough. It's hard to teach anybody who does not want to be taught, right? I mean, you probably heard your mom say that, right? Like she's trying to explain something to you, and she's like, you're not listening, So that's what happens. I think that's the most frustrating thing for me. Sometimes I feel I have something terribly important that I want students to understand, and I can't get them to see the importance of it, and that can be very, very frustrating.
Thank Thank you for taking your time.